All right, everybody, welcome to Power 30 here today on this Tuesday. I don't know about you guys, but it is a bright sunny day here up in Vermont. It's way too hot. For some reason, we have Florida's humidity. I blame Ian for that. But it just reminds me why I will never live down in the South and why I live up here, if not even more north. I'm currently looking at houses in Alberta, Canada, because the coolness is calling my name. This is way too hot. But anyway, so hopefully you guys all have some good weather going on where you're at. But today is Tuesday. It's July, what is it? The 6th, 15th, halfway point, right? After today, we're halfway through the month of July. And then we start thinking about kids going back to school. We start thinking about if you're a teacher going back to school yourself. I don't want to think about that yet, but it is reality, right? So here's how we're going to do to get started. If you're able to, drop real quick in the chat on a 1 to 10 scale how you're doing so far this month. How do you feel like your team's doing? How do you feel like you're doing? How do you feel like your business is doing this month? 1 being like, wait, July's already started? Or 10 being like, I'm crushing it. I'm on my pace to hit my goals. This is going to be a phenomenal month. 6, 5. Thank you, Amanda. Michael, 7, 8. I like hearing that. 5, 4, 5-ish. I'm not sure we accept ish. You're right. It was just the 4th. Oh my gosh. And now we're already like 2 weeks past that. That's true. It's like a blink of an eye. I don't know how it happens. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys saying that because this is the point where we got to decide, are we going to just pack it up for July? Or are we going to actually dig in and get things done? So if you answered, somebody who answered like 4 or 5, unmute real quick and tell me why it's only a 4 or 5. What's going on right now?
Weren't held accountable before.
Got in the head, started slow, thought I had more time, realized I really don't have the time. And it's just digging those feet in now. And last night, the non-negotiables of staying up, messaging, reaching out to people in my warm market that I hesitate to reach out to because I value probably too much their opinion on things. But I was like, screw it, I'm doing it. I sent out a ton of videos last night. And I'm going to do the same thing again today. I hear Alita in my head that those high numbers, people are messaging 30 people a day. So it's go time. It's time to go.
Go time. I love it. I love it. It's go time. Anybody else want to share? I love that, Amanda.
I feel like for me, I'm realizing that I might have just relied on my team to be checking in for retention orders. And maybe I waited a little too long to let them do that because now I'm like, okay, well, now I have to, like, I'm going to be scrambling, right? And so I think that's my thing is I need to come out of the gate like first thing of the month. Hey, first of the month, like, let's get started, let's get going. And already putting that in for retention orders instead of like waiting and expecting other people to do it. Or them to just know they need to place an order, right? Like,
yep. I love that. The idea of relying on our downline. How many people have else like had that before? Like they feel like things are going well and then they realize maybe I was relying too much on my downline. Maybe I wasn't relying enough on myself. Right? Has anybody ever gotten like frustrated or upset and feelings of like, man, I feel like I am running and gunning and doing a thing, but for some reason my downline's not. Like, why is my team not showing up? Why is my team not showing up the way that I'm showing up? Anybody ever felt that way? I know I have, right? I think that's normal. But here's one of the things that I want to sort of like touch upon today. It's not your downline's fault. It's your responsibility. What do I mean by that? So it's not their fault. It's not your downline's fault if you're frustrated that they're not showing up. It's your responsibility. Okay. Today's like little message and whatnot. I'm going to have Ian pop in and out a little bit here. He has no idea when, which is going to make it even more exciting. I'm just going to randomly call on him. But today we're talking about ownership. We're taking extreme ownership in our business. Okay. Because it's so easy, like as Nicole was talking about, to start relying on our team to do things because we feel like we've set things in motion. We feel like we've given them the duplication process. We've given them the systems. We've given them the scripts. And for whatever reason, we're relying on them now and things aren't going the way that we thought. So now all of a sudden we're halfway through the month and we're like, what's going on? Right? Like that's just normal. So I want to talk about really just about ownership. Yes, my daughter. Nice. I love it. Real life right here. jumping in. Okay, so a couple things I want to talk about with ownership in our business, right? The first one, no one is coming to save you. Let that sink in for a minute. Nobody is coming to save you in your business. This business is yours. It's not your uplines. It's not your downlines. It's not your spouses. It's not your best friends. It's not your children's. It is your business. And nobody is going to come to save you. Okay. And that can be really kind of like a smack in the face at first and be like, what do you mean? But it can actually be really empowering, right? Yes, Ian is my upline. And yes, my business is his business, right? But ultimately, my business is mine. My business is not his. And he's not, I can't rely on Ian to come and save me when things get tough, right? I can't rely on that. You can't rely on your upline for that. We have to start taking ownership. Hold on, daughter. We have to start taking ownership in the moments. Yep, she's going to pop in too. There we go. Why not? Totally wrecked my train of thought. I love it. I love that right there. I know. Perfect. But like I was saying, like nobody is coming to save us. We are the CEO of our business. Okay. We got to stop waiting for motivation. Okay. If you are somebody who relies on Power 30 every day to get you motivated, if you rely on Mondays because you know you're going to hear Alita and she's going to spark you for the week and the day, that's not a sustainable business. Okay. Yes, Power 30 is great. Power 30 is powerful. There's a lot of good things that we can take away from it. But if it's something that you physically rely on and personally rely on to drive your business, we have a problem, right? Because that means you're relying on external circumstances and external things to make it so you want to do your business. Okay. And there's going to be some days where all the things in the external are going to be going wrong. I was talking to a good brother this morning in our team prayer time. Like he was talking about what he was relying on today. And he's like, it's not motivation, it's on discipline and resilience. Because for him, he had lack of sleep. He's running and gunning all over the place, and he was just missed his morning workout. So, you know, for you morning workout people, what it's like when you miss one, it can wreck your whole day. He was really working on trying to like get back to the discipline, get back to the intrinsic stuff that's going to help make him do the things and get the business moving. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting to be handheld by your upline or for that perfect time, right? There's no perfect time to message somebody. It's not necessarily at 6 or 8 o'clock at night because you think they might be on your phone. Okay. We got to stop overthinking. I think Amanda said that earlier. Like, stop overthinking everything and just do it, right? Take ownership of your business each and every day. You're the CEO. If it's going to grow, it's up to you. Okay. And now I want you to ask yourself real quick. Dada. Okay. Drop a 1 in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat if you agree with this. If everyone on my team worked like me this month, my team would be winning. Are you modeling the behavior for your team right now? Go ahead. If you think you've been modeling the behavior you want to see for your team, if you're modeling the behavior that you would actually follow, think about it. If you reflect on what you've done so far this week, would you follow yourself? Would you be motivated by yourself? Would you see you doing the work and would that drive you to do it for like yourself? Because if the answer is no, chances are your upline's also probably going to say no, right? We got to model the behavior and we got to take ownership of what we're doing so that our upline is motivated and wants to do it, right? We got to show them. Leaders don't wait. Hold on. What? Can you tell them I want? Yes. Okay. Hold on. Quick intermission moment here before I pull Ian in. Okay. My daughter lost her first tooth last night and she's adamant she wants to show you that she lost her first tooth. That's why she'd been bugging me for a minute. So jump up to the camera and give him a big old smile. Right down there. First one. Yep. Cool. I'm glad that's recorded. That's recorded for all memory now on YouTube. That's fantastic. Amanda says congratulations. All right. On we go. Okay. So leaders don't wait. They initiate. If something is broken, they fix it. Okay. If momentum is missing, leaders create it. If you take ownership of your business, if something is broken by somebody in your downline or something in there, you don't just wait for them to fix it. If you're a leader and you are somebody taking ownership of your business, because your downline is your business, you are going to step in and you are going to fix it. Okay. If you feel like it's been quiet month, like sometimes it is on our team, and we're like, man, where's the momentum? Like, Nobody's doing the things. Nobody's signing up everybody. Sometimes we have to create it ourselves as leaders. Okay. And that can look a lot of different ways. That can be shouting out just for taking bold steps and bold messaging. That can be showing your downline, showing your team what you're doing, show them the messages that you're sending. It can be making some really bold posts. I mean, whatever it is, you can create momentum. You can. And as leaders, we need to. Okay. Ian, I'm going to call on you real quick. What's it mean to take ownership of your business?
What's it mean to take ownership? Shoot, man, a lot of that for me is being able to humble yourself. Might need that second active sooner than I thought. And words, man. Humble yourself. And yeah, you gotta, the hardest thing for me is like kind of looking at it and being like, hey, I know I'm already yelling at myself. Hold on. Admitting where I messed up. Hey, I didn't set a good enough example this week. Hey, I didn't get the messages out I promised to. Hey, I wasn't following up with my downline like I told them I would, you know, stuff like that. Taking ownership is sometimes the hardest thing to do because it's so easy to just, especially when we have a solid team behind us, to be like, to look at everyone else and be like, oh, well, this person didn't reach out, or this person said they were going to get in a chat and they never did. And that's why things aren't moving. But I mean, if, like John's saying, if you truly want to take ownership of your business, it's got to start with you and what you haven't modeled well for your team.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's so good. And I want to tell a quick story because this was a turning point, I think, for me in my business a little bit. You know, it was last summer when, you know, I shot up to senior silver really quick. And then it took a few months to get to gold. And it was kind of like, got me thinking a lot. And it was like a wall that I hit, right? It's like a mental wall. And I think we hit those every now and again in our business. I think a lot of us, if we were to be honest, have hit a wall or two somewhere in our journeys, right? So I hit this wall. And I remember staring into my back office one night. I went on, and I don't know why, but I was like hoping magically, like it's like when you check the fridge 3 times in 5 minutes, hoping that food like magically arrives in there. It's like I was staring at my back office one night, just like really hoping that somehow my points just doubled randomly. Um, and I got to thinking there had been no enrollments that week for me or my team. My posts were like barely getting any likes, and I felt like I was doing all the right things, honestly, but nothing was happening, right? No results. And I got myself thinking about it. I was like, maybe my team just doesn't want it. Maybe my team just isn't serious. Maybe people really are just really broke right now, because I was getting, you know, the financial objection over and over and over. Like, I just can't afford it. Now it's not the right time. I can't, you know, spend that. You know, I even started thinking maybe just the algorithm hates me. I see all these people making posts. Like, I go see Joey Nay make a post and she gets like 400 likes. I literally copy and paste her post and I get 2. And I'm like, literally, maybe the algorithm just hates me. But then it was something that kind of convicted me. I actually had to ask myself something, and it was a hard question. And I mean, sometimes you got to ask yourself hard questions. I had to ask myself, like, what have I actually done this week to earn momentum? Like, truly, like, what have I actually done this week so far to earn momentum? And if I was truly honest with myself, I went back and I looked. Guess what? I had posted once, and it was pretty vague. It was pretty safe. Wasn't really much of anything. I went to my DMs. I had sent 2 DMs all week to people directly, right? So I hadn't even been reaching out. I wasn't following up. I was actually waiting on them to follow up with me. Like, I had sent a message and I was just kind of like in that waiting game that we hate to be in. And I was waiting on them. And honestly, if I'm being truthfully honest, I wasn't even taking my products consistently. Missed a morning with my Slim here, didn't take my nightly ProBio that other night. Like, all around, I just wasn't showing up, and it was like a gut punch, right? I was frustrated with the results I hadn't earned. Truly, I was literally frustrated with the results that I had not earned. And then it clicked. I'm like, I'm not taking ownership. I'm not taking ownership of my business. This is my business. Okay? If it's quiet right now, it's because I've been quiet. If it's slow, it's because I've been slow. If it's inconsistent, you probably gathered by now, it's because I've been inconsistent, right? So that night last summer, I forget exactly what night it was, but I made a decision, right? I made a decision. I'm going to stop blaming. I'm going to stop playing the blame game. I'm going to stop pointing fingers. Because if I'm pointing fingers but not willing to point them back at myself, that's a problem for you and your business. If you can't take ownership and first point at yourself and what you're doing, there's a problem there, and we need to start stepping up our game. Okay, so I'm going to stop blaming. I'm going to stop waiting, right? How many of us just get into that waiting game, right? Where you feel like the Jeopardy theme song playing in the background while you're waiting for that magical follow-up to happen. I'm done waiting. I'm done waiting. I'm not going to expect other people, as Nicole was talking about, I'm not going to expect other people to build my business for me, especially if I'm not actively leading. I can't just sit back and hit coast because I got 3 or 4 runners and watch them go. Because guess what? They're watching what I'm doing. And if I'm not doing the work, they're not going to be doing the work. It's very reciprocal. It's a psychological thing that happens, right? If we want our team to run, we need to run. We need to lead. So from that point on, I started to treat it more like a business and less like a side hobby. All right. I started setting goals more. I started tracking things. I started following up like it actually mattered. Right. And when you do that and you start building that momentum, guess what? Your team starts seeing it. People start showing up more. Team starts responding more in the group chats. I mean, I hate it when you like have a good group chat going and you post something and like one person responds to it and you ask them like, hey, double tap this if you like agree or all in, and like one person does. And you're like, what's going on? Right. We have that happen. But by doing the work, the business starts moving. Because here's the truth of the matter, right? When the leader, that's all of us here, right? We're here because we want to grow as leaders. We want to grow our businesses. You wouldn't be on this call otherwise. It's a beautiful Tuesday in the middle of July. You would be doing other things, but you're here for a reason. And here's the truth of the matter. When the leader owns everything, and I mean everything, the business changes. Your business will change the day that you decide to take extreme ownership. And if you've never read that book, by the way, by Jocko, highly recommend it. Extreme Ownership. It's really, really good because that will start changing the narrative of your business. Okay. It really will. A couple more things real quick. So excuses real quick are the enemy of growth. Excuses are the enemy of growth. It's really easy to, like I said, to blame all the things that aren't going right. But ownership starts saying other things like, I didn't follow up well. I haven't been clear with my downline. I haven't gone all in on what I want to do. Okay. I made a video the other day because I found a way to export your entire Facebook or Instagram following list to an Excel sheet or a Google sheet so you can actively track them. It's really nice. Okay. I found a way to do it. So I quickly made a video on Zoom, sent it to my team, said, hey, check this out. This is the way to do it because a few of them wanted it. Well, it worked for me, but I had to remember that it may not work for everybody. And some people are chiming in. They're like, I tried it. It didn't work. I'm not really sure where I'm going wrong. And honestly, if you're not taking ownership, that's where I would go. Well, then you got to figure it out. Like, why didn't you figure it out? It's pretty simple. But ownership says, maybe I wasn't clear. And instead, we're going to have a Zoom training tonight where we're going to do that. By the way, if anybody wants to hop in on that and you want to know how to export your entire Facebook, Instagram list, I'm doing one, I think, at 8 o'clock tonight. Just hop in. I'll walk you through the steps. Pretty simple. It's really nice. But ownership says, I haven't been clear. And I'm going to make sure that I fix it, right? You're not going to wait on them to figure out. You're going to handle it yourself. Okay. But excuses are the enemy of growth. You can't control how people respond, but you can control, again, remember, there are things you can control in this business and things that you can't, right? And we got to focus a lot more on the things that we can control, like how many people we message, okay? How many people? We can control that. We can't control if they respond back. You know, I love Eric Worre because he talks about that pickleball analogy, and it's like my favorite thing ever now, because every time I send a message to somebody, I literally hear in my head someone serving a pickleball and hit like that little sound of the wooden paddle hitting the ball. That's like what I hear now. You have the opportunity to serve as many times as you want. You have the opportunity to message as many people as you want. You have the control to be consistent, how consistently you want to show up. Okay. Even on the days where it's hard. Yes, you can blame the busy seasons. You can blame whatever it is that's going on in your life for not showing up that day. Or you can make a choice and own it and show up anyway. And you can also control how bold and clear you are about what you offer and where you're going. I know a lot of us have been trying to get more bold with our postings and actively telling people where we're going, taking more pride in it, in what we actually do, and sharing more boldly with what we have to offer. Okay. Somebody said when you drop excuses, you pick up progress. Think about that for a second. When you drop excuses, you pick up progress. And I'm like, I love that. I'm going to start making that more often, because anytime I have an excuse and I don't give into it, I'm moving my business forward. Okay. And the last thing with extreme ownership, lead yourself first and then others will follow. I think sometimes we get too focused on leading others that we forget about ourselves, that we forget that we need to lead ourselves first. We need to work on personal development. We can't just talk the mission, right? We have to actually live it. We got to take the product. We got to share the story. We got to go into the DMs and hit our goals there. Be the kind of leader you would follow without question. Okay. Because the team ultimately mirrors the leader. I was talking about that earlier. Okay. If you want momentum in your downline, you got to build belief and discipline in yourself first. Okay. That means leading with integrity. That means leading with urgency. I know we talked about a lot of that yesterday with Alita. Lead with vision. Okay. Lead with vision. Now, Ian, I'm going to call on you again. I know you got Anya there. I want you to tell us how people can better lead themselves, or just talk to us about how you lead yourself.
How I lead myself, man.
I'm giving you the hard questions.
Anya's probably gonna chime in here, but
That's fine.
man, leading myself starts with making sure I'm aligned with God's purpose first of all, and that's for me. Making sure that daily, you know, when I get up, it's just spending that time with God, making sure that
Hey.
where I'm going and what I'm doing in my business is aligned with what He's called me to do. And that has actually been a huge, almost game changer, man. Because honestly, when I first got into this business, I jumped in it and started doing it, you know, however I was told, or however I wanted, and it was good. It was, you know, successful, obviously, but really making sure that that I start that day doing devotions, doing, you know, talking to God, making sure I'm aligned, not only helps me show up better for myself, but honestly, that's helped me realize a lot more, or become a lot more able to see what my team needs from a different standpoint, instead of just looking at it like, oh, well, they're not doing the things, you know, and kind of being tempted to go down that road. It's opened up my eyes a little more on the empathetic side, to be like, hey, instead of just saying they're not showing up or they're not doing it, reaching out, being like, hey man, like John and I I've had, you know, a couple calls with them where it's been like, hey man, we've noticed this. Tell us what's going on. How can we help you? You know, and then coming at it from that empathetic side, to be, instead of just blaming people for not showing up and doing the things, really showing them the same kind of empathy and almost service and support. Oh, I know, she just smacked her head, so she might get louder. The empathy and service and support, you're okay, that we show our customers. And it's helped me show up better for myself too, because like John mentioned earlier, if you miss a morning workout, I'm a morning workout guy. If I miss a morning workout, like you said, it kind of throws my whole day off. If I don't get up, and I know also I have best time to work on my business is in the morning. If I don't work on my business in the morning, it throws my whole day off. So, but setting aside that time, to start off with God first thing in the morning, and then to go right into business, has helped me just feel so much more put together, more able to lead others, because I feel like I'm getting what I need. I'm getting fed, you know, through actually showing up in the business. I'm getting fed, you know, showing up spiritually, that I'm able to kind of pass that down to my team better, if that makes sense. Sorry, I feel like that was all over the place, but yeah.
No, man, that was good. I love it. I love the way you talked about, I mean, the way I took it was about modeling, right? It's like, if we're going to lead and we're going to take ownership, it starts with modeling for our customers, modeling for our team, modeling for our kids and our families, and the legacy ultimately that we're going to be leaving. So as I close with today, you know, like as we kind of wrap up, because it's almost 11, I'll be respectful. First of all, my daughter's going to be right here. But if nothing else, I want you guys to start owning everything. Own every aspect of your business. Own the shortcomings of your team. Own the shortcomings of yourself. Like right now, the queen on our team, Lisa, she's not on here right now, but I'm going to yell at her for it. She is getting after us because we have some mental blocks going on right now. And it's like, I can easily blame that and pass that off to say that society has caused me to think that way, or I can take ownership of it, listen to the queen and say, you know what? I need to take more ownership in this area and do the thing, because it may be what's keeping me from my next rank. So own everything. Okay. And then ultimately model what you want to do. If your team is being quiet, be louder. Oh my gosh, be louder. Let them hear it. If your team is quiet, be louder. Secondly, if your growth is slow, move faster. Do more. Show them. Model it. If your growth is slow, move faster. And if you're not where you want to be, do something about it. Do something about it. Okay. If you're not where you want to be, instead of having a little pity party like I like to do every now and again and vent to Ian for half an hour, which, by the way, he's really good at listening to venting. So if you ever need to vent, give him a call. But truly, if you're not where you want to be, pick up progress, drop the excuses, and do something about it. Okay. Extreme ownership is not easy. It's actually really hard, but it's also the fastest path to freedom, which is what we're all after. We're all after that time and financial freedom and being able to serve and help other people and bless them in many ways, to be that blessing, as our company talks about. Extreme ownership is the fastest path to getting there. So the sooner that we can take that and make that ourselves, the sooner we will start to experience that. So with that being said, it is 11. Go out, lead well today, and we will talk with you guys later. Also, if you want that link to tonight's Zoom, let me know. Like, if you want to know how to export your list, I will gladly send that to anybody and everybody.